Alright, what's going on, guys? We got a trade recap today for Friday, April 25th. I took a winning trade here. Today could have been a lot bigger of a win. Only up around 1R, more than 1R on the day, almost 2R. But today could have been a lot bigger of a win. We're going to go over my bias, what I was looking for. And the market was very choppy today, with a lack of a trend, and we're gonna go over why that is. We're gonna go over why the market seems so weird today. If you were trading today and you felt like the market was weird, it wasn't really moving. At least that's how I felt. I felt that the market wasn't moving as efficiently as it normally does. I mean, if you go to the 15-minute chart, we kind of went nowhere, right? We got this huge 15-minute up candle, and then it basically got sold off completely, back down, up, back down. So this is the whole morning range right here. This is just a bunch of chop, to be honest. I was bullish though, but the reason for this kind of price action, in my opinion, is because we just took this high time frame liquidity yesterday, and we have not yet displaced above it, right? So after taking this high time frame liquidity, this is a daily high. After taking this high time frame liquidity, after being, because we were within this range for forever, right? And we finally come up and take this liquidity without displacing from it yet. So you can expect some chop. And honestly, personally, if I was already up huge on the week, if I was already up big on the week, then I would not have even wanted to trade today at all, to be honest, because of where we are on the higher time frames. But with that being said, we had displaced yesterday higher on the 4-hour chart, opening up this 4-hour BISIs. We then came down and tapped into this 4-hour BISI once the during pre-market, and so I was looking for a bullish model to the upside. So that was my bias coming into the morning. Now let's just get into the trade first, and then we'll get into the early morning moves. So the trade that I took, we eventually got that market structure shift on the 15-minute time frame. We eventually ran through this bearish 15-minute fair value gap with this candle right here. So at this point, let's just go back. After this 15-minute candle closes like this, I'm looking to go long. I'm even scaled into the 5-minute chart looking for a potential 5-minute fair value gap. We never get a 5-minute, or the 5-minute doesn't hold, right? And so the only P area that we have left is this 15-minute order block. And when we come down and test this 15-minute order block, if we advance in price, we also put in an SMT at the lows with ES. ES had fully taken this low, and NQ didn't. We had held this low on NQ. We have this bullish SMT. We're holding this 15-minute order block. We have reasons in the higher time frames to be bullish still. Still, my overall higher time frame bias is bullish. And so I'm looking for an internal model to play out to this 15-minute buy side liquidity. It is not the cleanest thing ever whatsoever. Like I said, the lack of trend was due to taking that high time frame liquidity yesterday. Today is also Friday. So this is not the cleanest thing ever, but first of all, I could have entered on this CISD here, but I didn't, because yes, we have the SMT, yes, we have the CISD, but like I said, this isn't the cleanest thing ever, and I'd also want to see an inverse fair value gap for extra confirmation when entering on the change in the state of delivery. And the inverse fair value gap doesn't occur until up here. So at this point, I'm looking for my displacement model. I'm looking for displacement above this swing high here, and I'm looking for us to run through this last bearish fair value gap. So if we advance in price, we eventually get that, we displace higher, we close above this fair value gap right here. So I've seen everything I need to see on the bullish standpoint, because we have this S&P at the lows as well, that I'm willing to take a trade once we pull back to this 1-minute fair value gap right here. This is what my original entry was on. So if we come down, we eventually tap into this 1 minute fair value gap, right? And so my initial entry is right here. I enter with one contract on this fair value gap. Sorry. Let me delete this one real quick. I enter with one contract here. Stops are below here. So it's basically a 1.2 RR trade. It's not the highest risk to reward ratio at all. But I also add another contract on this breaker block right here. Boom, which essentially bottom ticked this. Added another contract right here. So I'm in with two contracts, one here and one here. We eventually run through the 1 minute fair value gap, but we respect this breaker block. Let me just go back and get this on right here. So we respect the breaker block. We come back up, and I also notice I zoom back out. This is important. I zoomed back out and noticed that we had opened up this 5 minute fair value gap right here. I'm just like, oh, awesome. I can potentially trade this like my 5 minute model as well. And so we tapped into the 5 minute. We tapped into this breaker block. I'm already in with two contracts. But once we tap into this 5 minute and inverse this fair value gap right here, this turns into my 5 minute entry model, right? Boom. So I add another contract on this inverse. We come back down and test the inverse. And I moved my stops from down here all the way to above this new swing low here, and added one more contract. So now this is what my trade is looking like. And obviously, stops would be moved to break even once we come and take this internal high, looking to see this 15-minute buy side get taken. So we eventually come up, take the internal high. My stops are at break even here. Still in with all three contracts. We start to displace higher. And close higher. And at this point, I think we're going to come up and take this 15-minute buy side liquidity, no problem. Unfortunately, though, we were not. I exited early because we were disrespecting bullish PD arrays. We come down. If we're going to continue higher, in my opinion, I want to see this 1 minute fair value gap hold. I want to see this 1 minute. I want to see us continue to hold bullish PD arrays. So we come down. We originally rebalance and get a bullish candle out of it. It's looking good at this point. And then we sweep this high, come back down, and close below the 1 minute fair value gap. So I take 2 out of my 3 contracts off to secure risk. I actually waited for price to come back up a little bit. So I took 3 contracts off right around, or 2 contracts off right around this point in the trade. So I'm now in with one more contract. At this point, I'm like, okay, this looks like it was just a turtle soup. We're getting bullish reactions out of it again, continuing higher. I want to see these fair value gaps hold now. And I tell myself, if these fair value gaps don't hold, then I'm just going to completely exit the trade. And we come back down and disrespect these bullish fair value gaps. So I was completely out here. Like I said, up around almost 2R on the trade, but could have been up a lot more if we had truly continued higher to this 15-minute buy side liquidity. But like I said, price was choppy today, and after taking the high time frame liquidity, like I said, you can expect to see inefficient price action. I mean, if we just zoom out here, like we're kind of just going back and forth between this range. Let's see where the price is now. Yeah, price would have come back down and stopped me out at break even anyways. So it's a good thing that I exited after disrespecting those bullish PD arrays, because if we're disrespecting these bullish PD arrays, right, that's telling me like we're probably not going to come take this high soon, or at least not before we get stopped out at break even, right? So that's why I exited after disrespecting those 1 minute fair value gaps. So that was the trade. Not the cleanest thing ever, like I said. Was still able to find a trade in this hot garbage of price action. To be honest, that's kind of what it is. And completely done for the day. The reason why I had confidence in taking a trade here is because of this SMT that was put in at the lows here. So this SMT displacement running through bearish fair value gaps, all the bearish fair value gaps within the range, is what gave me confidence to take a long here. We could still come up and take this 15-minute buy side, but at this point I would have been stopped at a break even if I didn't exit early. So honestly, that is good trade management on my part, I feel like. And so, yeah, man, let me know if you were able to catch a trade in this. I was also looking to potentially go short here on ES. And like I said, today wasn't the clearest thing ever at all. So I wanted to be bullish, but I noticed that we were holding this 1 hour fair value gap this morning. We also came up and formed an SMT here at the highs, still holding this 1 hour bearish fair value gap. And we had a we were not displacing higher with the efficiency that I would have liked to have seen. So we had this SMT. You could have entered on something like this with this CISD here. But for me, I still would have wanted to see these bearish fair value gaps get ran through. That's just the way that I like to trade the CISD model. And once we run through these bearish fair value gaps, price is already down here, and we've already taken this sell side liquidity. So there was a potential short trade earlier this morning, but I stuck to my high time frame bias, which was long, and was still able to catch a trade on NQ. So there was a lot of chop going on this morning, a lot going on, and I think it just shows the importance of actually sticking to your higher time frame bias, and waiting and just being patient and waiting for opportunity to present itself in that direction. And we had some opportunity present itself to me. Not the cleanest thing ever, but was still able to get some profit on the day and to end the week. End the week on a high note and end the week in the green. So let me know if you're able to take a trade in this mess. Yeah, man, that's going to do it for the market recap today. Important lesson for the future is, in the future, once we take high time from liquidity, you can expect to have chop until we displace higher away from it, right? Until we get this displacement, you can expect us to be choppy here, especially on a Friday. So I appreciate you watching. I will see y'all in the next one. Peace.